Okay, are we all set?
Almost.
All right.
Gotta wait for you guys to pop up on the other screen and then we can go. Slow today. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Committee on Transportation, a work session this afternoon. We have 6 bills we're going to deal with, and we welcome you. I'm glad you could be with us. I would say and remind everybody that this meeting is live streamed on the committee's YouTube channel, and all the participants via Zoom can be seen and heard when the mic is on. Speakers must be recognized before speaking. Meeting is also recorded and available on the committee's YouTube after the meeting is concluded. This is a work session and it's not a public hearing, distinction being that primarily it's for the committee. We may ask others to join us or answer questions, but basically it's for the committee. We also want to say that the votes taken will always be recorded in a visually verifiable manner, except those who are absent, and they'll vote in afterwards with the clerk. So let's introduce ourselves to everybody, and we'll start with Senator Farren. Good afternoon, Senator Farren.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. My name is Brad Farren, and I live in Norridgewock and represent the fine people of Somerset County and the town of Rome and Kennebec County. Thanks for participating today.
Thank you. Senator Chipman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Senator Ben Chipman. I represent Senate District 27, which is most of the city of Portland.
Thank you, sir. Representative Wayne Perry. Senator Perry not with us?
Nope.
He had another obligation today, I think.
Oh, I was wondering what it was.
Representative Lynn Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Lynn Williams. I represent House District 135, which includes Bar Harbor, Lemoyne, and Mount Desert.
Thank you very much. Representative Dustin White.
Representative Dustin White, 10 towns in Central Aroostook County, and I live in Marston.
Thank you, sir. Representative Mike Perkins.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you. My name is Mike Perkins. I represent District number 77. That's Oakland and Sydney. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Representative Mark Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Mark Bryant. I represent House District 24, part of the town of Wyndham. Welcome all.
Thank you, sir. Representative Tom Martin.
Yeah.
Not yet. Representative Kevin O'Connell.
Thank you, sir. Kevin O'Connell, District 128. I represent most of the city of Brewer.
Thank you, sir. Representative Rich Sieber. I think he's got another obligation as well. And House Chair Representative Danny Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, folks. Danny Martin, House 150, located in northern Aroostook County, where we have 4 inches of snow this morning.
I saw the pictures.
I checked my cameras at camp this morning and it didn't look pretty.
Great.
There it is. Won't let go. Thank you very much. And I'm Bill Diamond. I live in Wyndham, and my Senate District 26 circles Sebago Lake. This afternoon, we have 6 bills we're going to deal with. Let me give you the order of those. And there's a reason for the order, which we'll get into briefly. We'll start with 537, followed by 669, then 1027, and then 7004, excuse me, and then 284, and then 1133. That'll be the order. Also, I need to say that House Chair Martin will be taking over this afternoon. I have to leave just before 2. We have a couple of things going. Late this afternoon, we have the Senate confirmations going on, and we'll be in the House of Representatives doing those. And prior to that, I have a couple of meetings, one with the Ledge Council, hopefully if I get there in time. And then after that, some constituent meetings up there. So it's a full afternoon. But anyway, so Representative Martin will be taking over. So let me start with the first one, LD 537. And this is the Fallen Troopers Bill. And this is the one that we heard a lot of testimony from the director of the Turnpike. And he was sharing some practical concerns. We had a meeting, myself, along with the fallen troopers, the retired troopers, David Burns, along with two other people associated with the Maine State Police, Tim Colbert, and I forget the other person, Tom Pappas. And so we met, had a good meeting, and realized that there's probably some practical and logistical problems with the way the bill is written, but we think we're on a real good path to find a solution that might make everybody happy. So we're going to have one more meeting next week, probably Monday, and then we will come back to the committee. So I'm asking if we can table this to give the one next meeting, so allow us to come back with something that hopefully will be provide a unanimous statement for everybody. So if anybody would like to make a motion to table,
I'll make the motion that we table 537.
Second.
thank you very much. Motion's made to table. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Second, thank you. That's non-debatable. Darlene?
You're muted.
Because I had to answer the phone. Okay,
Oh.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry, absent, Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin, absent, Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seabra is absent. So 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative.
Thank you very much. The motion to table is 10 in affirmative, 0 in the negative. It prevails. So we will put this on the table and we'll deal with this next week. The next, we'll close the work session on 537. We'll open up the next one, which is LD 669. This is a similar situation. This was an act to ensure public ways are compliant with the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. And talking with the department, they called today, and it looks like they're on a way, have a path with the sponsor to come up with maybe a solution that'll satisfy everybody, and asked if they can have a little bit more time to make this happen. Of course, that always makes us happy if somebody can find a solution that off mic where we're not around, and it makes it happen quickly when we are. So that's a request there. And so if the committee is so in agreement, we'll table this, then deal with this next week and get it taken care of, hopefully in a very agreeable manner.
Make a motion to table.
Motion is made to table LD 669. Is there a second?
Second, Mike Perkins.
Thank you. Representative Perkins, a second. It's non-debatable. Arlene, this is yours.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yeah. Yes.
Senator Farren.
Yeah.
Representative Perkins,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Perry is absent, Representative Williams,
Whoops, sorry, yes.
Representative Dustin White,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin is absent, Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seabra.
Yes.
Thank you. 11 in the affirmative, 2 absent.
Motion to table 11-0. The motion prevails. We'll close the work session in LD 1027. The next one is LD, excuse me, that was 669. Sorry about that. The next bill is LD 1027. 1027 is an act to amend the laws governing local bridges. Sam, are you with us today? Yes, there he is, very much. By the way, I neglected to introduce you this, when we were doing this, so I want to introduce Sam Prower, who is our analyst, and as is Darlene Semino is our clerk. So anyway, Sam, go right ahead.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. All right. So this is an act to amend the laws governing local bridges. I'm going to start with just reading you the summary. So the current law provides a municipality the sole responsibility to determine whether such a bridge must be posted or closed. This bill requires the Department of Transportation to notify a municipality when a bridge for which the municipality has maintenance responsibility requires posting or closure, and requires the municipality to carry out the posting or closure. This bill also provides that in order for the department to accept certain responsibilities for an improved bridge or a new bridge, the department must approve the design of the improvements or construction before the improvements are made or the bridge is constructed. The design of the improvements or construction must meet standards set by the department and be sealed by a professional engineer. The department must inspect the bridge after it's improved or constructed. So there was a fair bit of testimony on this bill from both the department and from Maine Municipal Association. I can go through some of the highlights if you would like, but before I do that, I just want to note that on the bill analysis, I indicated for you that this bill is effectively the same bill that was before the committee last session. That former bill was LD 2064, and this proposal from the department is essentially the committee amendment from last session that never became enacted due to the shutdown. The language is not exactly the same, but after reviewing this and the previous bill, there really isn't a practical difference. And then I also just provided the committee with some helpful definitions about, for what a bridge is versus a minor span. And before I let you go, would you like me to go through the testimony highlights, or do you?
I think you should. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be helpful because it's been a while.
Okay. So for Maine DOT's testimony, this is a reintroduction of the committee amendment from 2064 from the 129th, as mentioned previously. Maine DOT maintains responsibility for the inspection of all bridges and minor spans in the state. Inspections occur at least every 24 months, and if a structure is the responsibility of a county or a municipality, Maine DOT will send a report to the local government. In some instances, these reports can include what they call a bad bridge letter, which outlines the requirements for the structure to remain safe or indicates the need for the county or municipality to post the structure for a weight limit or close it to traffic. And local governments, they say, don't always act on these recommendations, which creates risks to the traveling public. This bill will give Maine DOT the authority to post or close a structure owned by a county or municipality if the county or municipality does not take action on the department's recommendation. This also includes language that would allow them to seek reimbursement from the county or municipality for any expenses associated with the posting or closing of a structure. And the department also said that this addresses potential changes to a culvert or minor span that could affect the ownership of the structure. Municipal culverts and minor spans are changing in a way that could make them large enough to become the responsibility of the department. So I think what they're getting at in that piece of testimony is just that some changes will extend a minor span to the fact that to the extent that it becomes a bridge, and then the responsibility moves from the municipality to the department. And that, I think, is that's related to why they want the changes to be signed by the engineers. Maine Municipal Association testified neither for nor against, and they noted that this, again, this was a bill that was reintroduced from last session, and they had worked with Maine DOT to resolve some initial concerns. At that time, municipal officials had agreed that adding the language clearly provides the authority to the department to post a structure when a municipal or county officials fail to do so and seem prudent. They noted that at the time, officials felt that clarifying the approval process for the department to assume responsibility for significant taxpayer investment should a municipality be required to invest in a significant upgrade was beneficial to both the state and municipal leaders. And they noted that but they did note that the Legislative Policy Committee needs to review the new language introduced this session, and they said they would follow up to provide the official position for the work session. I don't know if they're here today. I haven't received a follow-up. So that's all I had.
Thank you, Sam. Are there questions from the committee? Representative Danny Martin?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Question to Sam. Sam, the committee amendment that came out of last year's session, was that unanimous?
I believe it was, yes.
Thank you.
Other questions? Senator Farren?
Yeah, I was just wondering if Rebecca, somebody from MMA, is available in the waiting room, because I did have that as a note that they were going to circle back with us.
Right.
Any comments, concerns that they had.
Yep, good point. Darlene, do we have? Rebecca?
I'm bringing her over.
Okay, yes, I can see her now. Rebecca?
Thank
Welcome.
you, Senator. Thank you. I apologize for not getting back in writing, which was my big impetus for being here today. It was more timing of the public hearing in relationship to our LPC meeting. And just to confirm, yes, our LPC did vote to support this bill because it was essentially the same as last year. And the initial concerns that we had were already addressed, and we are in the language.
Perfect. Questions of Ms. Graham from the committee? That's very helpful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions? Seeing none of any kind, there is a motion in order?
Mr. Chair, I move ought to pass on LD 1027.
Motion is made, ought to pass. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, thank you. Discussion. Seeing no discussion, Darlene, it's yours.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Hang right on. I'm going to stain it. Hang on 1 second.
You're gonna stain it, so you want it fine,
Hang on.
not hold it.
Representative Perkins. Now you're muted.
Yes.
There
Thank
go.
you.
You.
Oh
Representative,
my God. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of a Zoom.
Representative Perry is absent. Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White,
Yes.
and Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryan,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin, absent. Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Seabra.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative, 2 absent.
Motion ought to pass, 11-0 prevails. As interesting as that was. Thank you very much. We'll close the work session on 10/27. We'll now open the work session on LD 704. We are scooting right along here. This is good. An act to amend laws governing culvert replacement, presented by Representative Harnett of Gardner. Sam.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. All right. So the short and sweet version of this is this bill makes the cost of replacing a culvert the expense of the abutter. I wanted, before I go forward in the bill analysis, I will note for you that on the second page, I have provided the full current law in this section. I provided the original bill, and I have also provided the sponsor's amendment that was provided at the public hearing. And I thought it was important for the committee to be able to see these all next to each other, because essentially the sponsor's amendment is changing the current law for how the culvert replacement applies to municipalities to make it mirror the way that culvert replacement works with the Department of Transportation. So I'm going to give you the brief summary of how the current process works with Maine DOT, and that I think should help you understand what those changes are, what the changes for the municipal culvert replacement are aiming to do. So the responsibilities for a driveway or an entrance within the right-of-way of a state or state-aid highway, are outlined by the legislature in 2014, and there are specific cases where Maine DOT is responsible for the repair or replacement of a culvert entrance. So when Maine DOT undertakes a capital or ditching project that requires the replacement or relocation of a driveway entrance or culvert, the department is responsible for the culvert replacement and or the relocation and the driveway entrance restoration. When a natural event results in the flooding or in washouts that cause a culvert to fail and or a driveway entrance to wash out, Maine DOT will reinstall or replace the culvert at their discretion to reestablish access to the abutting property. And then when culvert replacements are not in one of those first two situations, they are generally the responsibility of the property owner. And in addition, the property owner is responsible for driveway repairs to bumps or depressions that may develop over a culvert. So essentially, the sponsors amendment is trying to create a similar process within the municipal context. And the only other thing I wanted to mention for the committee before I let you ask questions is that the proposed amended language is essentially like verbatim what the section is that applies to the department. And I think that some of the language contained, such as capital highway or ditching project, or referring to the roads under the municipality's jurisdiction as highways, might need to be clarified just to make sure we're accurately talking about things that really do fall within municipal jurisdictions. So those are easy things to clean up if the committee wants to go in that direction. I just wanted to note it for you. Would you like me to go through the testimony, or should I stop there?
I'm thinking this is going to be, the answer is yes, because I think there's a lot of questions swirling around this, and it would be helpful to the committee members, I think, if they had a chance to hear a little more.
So proponents of the bill argue that it seeks to clarify what shall and maintain means related to installed culverts located on townways and state aid highways inside urban compact zones. They said that this would permit municipalities to have a clear expectation and be able to budget for what maintenance of townways and state aid highways inside urban compact zones, and moves the expenses of voluntary culvert replacement to the abutter. And they also noted that this is not intended to prevent municipalities from replacing functioning culverts at their own expense, but clarifies whether or not municipalities are mandated to replace functioning culverts at the request of the abutter. Opponents of the bill, which included Maine Municipal Association, stated that abutters pay for road improvements, which include culvert crossings, through their property and motor vehicle excise taxes. And that as drafted, this bill proposes to change property taxpayers twice for replacement of a culvert infrastructure. They said that the ad hoc approach could drag out public works projects while officials waited for the abutters to have the resources necessary to pay for replacement, or possibly feel obligated to manage abutter hired contractors to guarantee proper installation in addition to overseeing road improvements. And they stated that this would unnecessarily increase the administrative costs of public works projects by creating a mandate to notify abutters for the need to replace culverts to access their driveway in advance of planned projects and manage the inevitable complaints from property owners. And that litigation over those costs and the timing needs for each project could possibly increase exponentially. I am not sure if, so that was the testimony, and I'm not sure if Maine Municipal Association has had a chance to look at the sponsor's requested amendment and maybe if those concerns still apply or not.
So, all right, that's one of the questions we certainly want to ask to find out if Ms. Graham can come back on and see how the amended version, and see what the situation is as far as MMA is concerned. That would be helpful.
On our way.
Thanks again, Senator Diamond.
Yes.
I did not see the amended language, so I would have to present that before our LPC again in order to get their read on that. However, what I did hear pretty clearly when we were discussing this matter, because there is some history behind this particular approach, is that these are always or generally within the public right of way. So all of that care and maintenance piece is something that municipalities really care about having kept in this uniform way. And our officials had felt strongly that that was part of all of the road costs that are associated in a community. So it does come off those property taxpayers' contribution to that community. So they did not want to pursue this. I understand, if I understand what Sam had mentioned earlier, is that it would be a voluntary approach. Is that what I understood, Sam?
Thanks. I believe that the way this would work, and maybe the DOT can correct me because this really would reflect their current process, is that the municipality could decide to replace the culvert on their own without making the abutter cover the costs. So I believe it would be voluntary in the sense that you wouldn't necessarily have to wait for the abutter to provide the funding. And does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. And I think probably the way that municipal officials feel about it is that on local roads, that all of that care and maintenance is already covered by property tax as well as excise tax. On urban compact roads, there is a different application, I believe, and those roads, I think they would still like that option piece. And I think that the DOT rules do apply on those rules, but maybe Megan can.
Would it be helpful to the committee if I know we don't want to table stuff as much unless we see a real quick answer coming our way, but would it be helpful for the committee to wait a bit until next week to get the response back so we'll know exactly where MMA is coming from, or is that something that's not necessary? Representative Seabra.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My answer to that would be no.
Representative Seabra, we're having trouble with your audio.
All right.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
No, it's not well at all. You want to try to call us?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. While we're waiting for Representative Seabra to give us the call, Representative Danny Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Originally, without the amendment that we just discussed, MMA had opposition to this, and it's one of those bills that unless MMA got together with the parties, that I would have a hard time to support. However, it might behoove all of us to give us a little chance to review the amendment, have MMA review the amendment, and
I could just put you on my microphone.
As much as I'd hate to table this, but maybe that's probably in our best interest.
So there is Representative Seabra. Are you with us now?
He is. I'm going to put him on my mic, see if that works.
All right. Try that, Representative Seabra.
Go ahead, Rich.
No, you're on mute. Tell him he's on mute. That's your
What?
level.
He's muted.
He's on his
He's
phone.
muted,
Hold
yeah.
on, Reg.
There we go. We need to learn hand signals and
Yeah, I know. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you,
You
yes.
can hear me. Okay. So I'm trying to let me put Rich on speakerphone.
While he's working on that,
No,
Representative.
go ahead. Try
Okay,
it now, Rich.
good. All right, Rich, try it.
I don't believe we need to wait with, for anything else from MMA. There are a few bills that I dislike more than this bill, and I'd like to move on not to pass just to get that motion on the floor. And I mean, when you look at the excise taxes we pay and the property taxes we pay, I don't think this is a good idea at all. So I move on not to pass.
A motion has been made, ought not to pass.
Second, Mike Perkins.
The second, Mr. Perkins, Representative Perkins. Discussion. Senator Chipman.
I just wanted to ask what the testimony was, with like how many were in support and how many were in opposition at the hearing, because I wasn't there for the hearing, I don't believe.
Sam, can you just give a summary on that?
Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, me too.
Sorry,
somebody's-
I was muted.
There you go, Sam.
I-
Somebody else's mic is on. Okay. All right, go ahead, Sam.
So I believe there was not a lot of testimony.
Are you talking to me?
We had Representative Harnett, the sponsor, speaking for it. There was also a man named Mackie Droth speaking
Awesome.
for the bill.
Okay.
And then we had Maine Municipal Association speaking against. So that was all we had at the public hearing.
So there wasn't a lot of testimony, but it was just a couple people for and one against, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, Representative Bruce White.
Yes, thank you, Senator Diamond. I'd have to say, after reading the testimony from the MMA, it's pretty compelling to me that taxpayers are already paying for this, and I don't see much changing with the amendment personally. So I would certainly support the ought not to pass. But, so, and I know we discussed maybe listening or her coming back, but again, personally, I don't see much changing.
Thank you. Is the sponsor here, by the way? I wanted to give him a chance to.
Is that Representative Harnett?
Yes.
And no, he's not.
Okay. All right. So Representative Seaver, your hand is up. Is that just left over or do you want to comment?
Can you hear me? That's left over.
Oh, left over. Okay, very good. Other comments? Looking at the amendment, it does say the abutter has continuing responsibility for the condition and stability of the culvert and access, including the full cost of replacement of any culverts or other structures pertaining to the access, on and on. So there is some verbiage there, I think, as Representative Bruce White pointed out. Other comments from anybody? Senator Chipman.
Yeah, I'd just say I, not having attended the public hearing, but just hearing the conversation here, sounds like there's not really a major motivating reason why we need to pass the bill, and taxpayers are already paying once. I think that's enough. So I guess I'd join in supporting the motion made by Representative Seaver.
Okay, thank you. For any other comments? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is ought not to pass. Darlene, it's yours.
Senator Diamond.
Yes.
Representative Danny Matton.
Yes.
Senator Farren.
Yes.
Representative Perkins.
Yes.
Representative Perry, absent. Representative Williams.
Yes.
Representative Dustin White.
Yes.
Senator Chipman.
Yes.
Representative Bryant.
Yes.
Representative Bruce White.
Yes.
Representative Tom Matton, absent. Representative O'Connell.
Yes.
And Representative Seabra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay.
11 in favor, 0 in the negative.
Motion not to pass, 11 prevails, 11-0. We'll close the work session on LD 704. We'll now go to the work session on LD 284.
That one needs to be taken off the table.
Yes, thank you. Would somebody make a motion to remove LD 284 from the table?
So moved.
So move second. Second, all those in favor? Just raise your hands. Everybody sees it. Yeah, okay, thank you. LD 284, an act to provide that inspections of new motor vehicles are valid for 2 years. We have, as you know, a subgroup that worked on this, came back with recommendations. Sam, you want to just take us through that and what you came up, what people reported back to you as?
Yeah, absolutely. So the subcommittee with 7 members of this committee met 3 times and came up with a number of recommendations regarding the composition of a study on the Maine's motor vehicle inspection program. And so I will just, and I believe, and I think everyone's here, I believe that these recommendations were unanimously supported by the subcommittee. So I'm gonna just go through them one by one, starting with the composition of the study, as in who would be on it. So the study would include 4 legislative members. That would be 2 members from the Senate and 2 members from the House. All 4 would be from this committee, the Joint Standing Committee on Transportation, and and then both from the Senate and the House, 1 of each would be 1 member of the minority party and 1 member of the majority party. The study would also include 3 members from the auto mechanic industry, 1 member from the auto rental industry, and 1 member from the Department of Public Safety. I should note that the subcommittee did not discuss which bodies should be appointing the members from the auto mechanic industry or the auto rental industry. Typically in studies, we have those appointments made by either the president or the president of the Senate or the Speaker of the House. But in the past, there have also been appointments made sometimes by the executive branch too. So that is something that those are things you can discuss as a committee. And then, so that's a total of 9 members that would be on this study as proposed by the subcommittee. And then the duties, I'm just going to read through them that were laid out are as follows. The study commission shall review the Maine Motor Vehicle Inspection Program and report back to the Joint Standing Committee on Transportation with recommendations regarding the following. First, whether the motor vehicle inspection program should continue in Maine. 2, if the program should continue, how frequently should motor vehicle inspections be required? 3, if the program should continue, whether the fee structure for the program should be altered. And 4, any other recommendations related to motor vehicle inspections that may arise during review of these topics. And then some topics to consider were listed. So topics considered by the study committee, by the study commission must include, but are not limited to, the following. First, making the inspection requirement every 2 years rather than every year, and the impact of doubling the fee for each inspection to $25. Second, a simplified fee structure, such as potentially a flat inspection fee across the state. And an example was that Cumberland County would not have a different fee than the other counties. Also to look at the subcommittee recommended looking at a tiered system for inspection frequency based on the age of vehicles. That could include aligning the inspections fee structure with the frequency of inspections, not requiring inspections for new or newer vehicles, potentially for a period of up to 3 years. And then how well inspection stations would be able to evaluate the safety of parts over extended periods of time. And the next topic was to review programs in states with similar climates and comparable road salt usage to Maine, and comparing the inspection programs in those states and available road and vehicle safety data to that of Maine. The next was to review any available data regarding whether people take worse care of their vehicles due to over-reliance on the state inspection system. And finally, the estimated fiscal impact of any changes to the inspection program, including but not limited to the registration of rental car fleets in the state. And then the subcommittee recommended a report back date of no later than February 1st, 2022. And that was my understanding of the subcommittee's recommendations. I don't know if any of the members would like to say more about that.
Sam, thank you very much. We'll check with everybody to see if that's what might have come up. Representative Lynn Williams, yes. Thank you, by the way, for serving.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one, not an addition, but as Sam mentioned, we spoke about having 3 representatives of the auto repair industry on this study commission. And I brought that up. And one thing I brought up was that one of them should be a chain, you know, something like VIP or something like that. And then the others, one smaller auto repair facility in southern Maine and another one in northern or down east Maine.
So as it reads now, just for clarification, Representative Williams, it's saying 1 member representing a small scale individual. That covers that northern Maine, got the southern Maine covered, okay. And then the chain would be kind of is that an additional?
That would be the 3rd member.
Okay.
Representing a chain.
Large scale auto, I got it, okay, very good. So it's all right there and it's pointed out. Thank you for that clarification. Questions for the committee? Sam, just before that, I want to just clarify or ask a question. This, by the way, the subcommittee did a great job. This is very thorough. Thank you for the work on this. But the only question that remains is who should do the appointments? And we have 2 areas that need to be appointed. And it sounds like it's going to have to be one of the presiding officers. But what else? What are other options besides the presiding officers? Sam, I mean, we could ask the governor to do it, but that seems maybe not quite at that lane, that level.
My understanding is that typically it's a normal study would be appointments made by the presiding officers. As you correctly noted, the governor has been asked to make appointments in the past. And I would have to double check on this. You may also be able to, directly address who you want to be on it in the legislation, although that gets tricky when we try to write into law, like the names of individual organizations. So typically it is better to provide a general description and then have the appointments made by the POs or whoever you'd like to use.
Thank you. Representative O'Connell.
Yeah, just a quick question. Would I assume that those 3 members would come from suggestions from the group of us?
If it's an appointment made by a presiding officer or anyone, as far as that goes, we would give the category and they would decide who that would be.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Chairman, House Chair Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. My thought would be to leave the governor out of it because this is a legislative study commission. Also, I've seen study commissions before where the presiding officers jointly made the recommendations. If nothing else, it would get them to work together and come up with some consensus.
I like that. I like that. Senator Chipman.
Could the chairs of this committee make the appointment? I mean, could we come up with a list of, could the subcommittee come up with a list of people and then yourself and Representative Martin approve the appointments?
I don't know that there's anything that would prevent us, although Representative Martin, I see his head shaking.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if you recall the memo that we received, and Sam got a copy of it, where if it's going to be a study commission, I think the presiding officers were pretty adamant that they wanted to make the appointments. That's my understanding. Sam, do you concur? Or?
That is what that's my understanding as well. I don't know what the possibility would be of having, like, for instance, the chairs of this committee make the appointments. I suppose, though, if you wanted to provide suggestions, there could be something written into the resolve about this, members of this committee providing suggestions to the presiding officers. That could be a way to go if you wanted.
Mr. Chair, the chairs could make the recommendation if that's the consensus of the committee, but the presiding officers are ultimately going to be the ones that are going to approve the go-ahead on the study commission. And I really would recommend that they make the ultimate appointments. But yeah, the chairs could make the recommendations to the presiding officers.
Yep, and I think it's a very astute statement about we should also give the final power to them, because they have to approve the study, and otherwise it could hit some snags along the way. Thank you for that. Representative Perkins. Yep, you're on mute, Representative Perkins.
There you go. No, I apologize. Representative Cedar is on the phone, so I can stand by and wait for a minute. He's trying to get in.
No, go ahead. I'll get him next. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I didn't want to step on. I want to say something very pointed, and I'm not being mean when I say this. The division that we are sitting at now, I'm worried about the presiding officers choosing the people. I really am. And we already know we have a great division, and we as a transportation committee for years have worked very, very well together. And I really want to be very aware of that and very cautious of that, because I think we as a transportation committee often lead the way and set the example.
Okay. Thank you for that, Representative Perkins. Representative Seabrook, you're up.
Can you hear me, Senator?
Yes, we got you. We have you.
Okay, good. Thanks. I recall in the past we've used the language similar to, I don't know, I think Sam may have the exact language, but it's the presiding officers are to appoint these appointees upon receipt of recommendations from the chairs of the committee. And Mike, Representative Perkins is absolutely right. I think this committee has acted for decades as a nonpartisan, not even bipartisan, but a nonpartisan committee. And I think our recommendations from this committee carry a lot more weight than a lot of people realize because of that. So I think a recommendation of the chairs, presiding officers making appointments upon receiving recommendations of the chairs of the Joint Standing Committee of Transportation or something like that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Representative Seabrook. Senator Chipman. You're on.
I would concur with that. And that way, if there's an appointment that the presiding officers don't approve or don't want to approve, it would then come back to us to make another recommendation to them, and it wouldn't be up to them to just appoint people. So I think that makes sense, what Representative Seabrook just said, and Representative Perkins.
Yeah, excellent. It also that also keeps the committee involved, and if it were the chairs would be from the recommendation from the members. We wouldn't just sit down by ourselves to come up with that. And frankly, knowing that the trouble that presiding officers go through to think of people on these various studies, if we offered them some names, that would save a lot of work for them. They could just go to it and take a peek at it. So yes, Senator Farren.
I would think that process, I concur with that process, and I think it will show how much pull our chairs have with the presiding officers.
That could be embarrassing, huh, Representative Martin?
Just saying.
Mr. Chair, I would even go as far as having the chairs and the two leads make the recommendation.
Yeah, that's a good test. Thank you for that. All right, so where do we want to go? There's been a lot of, seems like there's some consensus around the idea of having the presiding officers jointly make the recommendations from the recommendations, appointments from the recommendations from Compensation Committee. Is that where is that falling on a comfortable area for everybody?
Yep.
All right. And we're ready for a motion if that's what the people want. You're ready to go.
I'd make a motion so this would be ought to pass a motion.
Yep, create a study committee.
Yes.
LD, yep.
With the items we discussed, obviously, for the recommendations from the chairs to the presiding officers.
Who will jointly appoint?
Yes.
Okay. Sam, you got that?
Yeah, I just want to make clear the motion would be ought to pass as amended, because the original bill we're working off of is 284. And I just want to also be clear, because we don't actually have like the study drafted up yet, you'll see it before it goes out. I'll bring it back so the committee can review it. And
that's good. That way everybody in the committee gets a chance to see what we're doing, revisit it again, make sure it falls in the area that you were thinking it to be. But I think we got a good structure here to work on, Sam, and I think we can hopefully get that done, and we'll get it out as soon as possible. Thanks again for the subcommittee. Although we have a motion, we have a second.
We don't have a second.
Don't have a second. Representative, do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
So moved. Thank you. Representative O'Connell for discussion.
Okay, when we do pass this, at that point, should we go out and ask the people that we think are qualified for this to join and then give you those names?
Yeah, I think that's what I was referring to when we said we'd like to have the full committee involved. So the committee members would be asked if you want to go up and want to come up with some suggestions, get them off to Representative Martin and myself, and we'll sit down with Senator Farren and Representative Perkins, and we'll pound out what you give us.
Thank you. I have a gentleman who owns a 5-generation garage locally that I think would be a really good addition. So I'll pose the question to him. Thank you.
Good. And Sam will collect those. We'll sit down and go over them. Thanks. Great idea. Any other questions? We have a motion made and seconded not to pass as amended. Seeing none? All right, Darlene, it's all yours.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren. Where'd you go?
He might have been called to ledge council.
Yeah. Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry. Right here, Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin, absent, Representative O'Connell.
Yes, I see Senator Farren's back.
I
too.
see him too. Representative Seabra,
Yes.
and back to Senator Farren.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. 11-2. Two absent.
The 0, right?
Yeah, right. Yep, two absent.
The motion ought to pass as amended on LD 284. Passes 11-0. And so we'll close the public hearing on that. We are now going to the last one, which is when, it's a little before 2. So Representative Martin, if you're all set, you got the last one, and that would do it for the day.
Yeah.
Remember,
Thank you.
remember that we do have, we have a full day on Tuesday of next week. So yes, Darlene.
I don't think you need to go. Is it
Yes,
going to Ledge Council?
No, that's one of the things I have to
Oh,
go.
okay. Never mind.
I wish that was the only one.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, before you leave, a procedural question.
Yes.
LD 1139 may take a bit of discussion, I suspect.
3-3, you mean, Dan?
I'm sorry. 1133, I apologize. And I'm going to need at least one senator if we're going to be voting on anything.
Right. Senator Farren, are you coming back?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Senator Chipman.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're
Yeah, I
good.
can stay. I do need to get up to Augusta, but I don't have to leave until 3:30. So
All right, great. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. I think you're all set, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. We'll now work on LD 1133, an act to amend the transportation laws, and I believe that was the department's omnibus bill. Discussion, folks.
Representative Martin, would you like me to go through the bill analysis or?
Sam, yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. No. All right. So as Representative Martin mentioned, this is the department's omnibus bill, Department of Transportation. So this bill makes the following changes to the transportation laws. First, it revises the priority classifications and goals for the state's public highways. Second, it authorizes the Commissioner of Transportation to convene a rail corridor use advisory council to advise and make recommendations each time one or more governmental entities that represent communities along a state-owned rail corridor request that the department review a non-rail recreational use or non-recreational transportation use of that rail corridor. It also prohibits the department from dismantling or making changes to state-owned railroad track for a non-rail use without going through the advisory council process and obtaining legislative approval. Third, it amends the law governing appeals to awards made by the State Claims Commission to clarify the appeals filing process. And fourth, it defines roundabouts and includes them in the laws governing the use of traffic circles and rotaries. There was quite a bit of testimony on the bill, and I can go through that if the committee would like, but before I do, I just wanted to note a couple things that I have listed on the second page of the bill analysis. The first is I provided the committee a link to Title 23, Chapter 615, which is the State Railroad Preservation Act, and this council, the advisory process that's being proposed in the bill would still work within the confines of the State Railroad Preservation Act. I also wanted to note that Section 2 of the bill, which is the part that lays out the Rail Corridor Use Advisory Council process and membership, reflects the membership that was approved by this committee during the 129th second regular session, and I provided a link to that old bill from that session. And Section 4 of the bill, which includes changes regarding the dismantling of state-owned track or changing it for other non-rail use, also reflects changes approved by this committee during the 129th second regular session. And it's the same bill, I included the link to that. And that while the fiscal impact statement for the bill in front of you today has not yet been finished, that the fiscal changes represented in sections 2 and 4 were previously calculated as minor cost increases to both the general fund and the highway fund, and the relevant fiscal note from the 129th. And that fiscal note, the link to that fiscal note is also provided. And I just wanted to go through a couple of technical issues before I ask how you'd like me to proceed. So the first is that in Section 2 of the bill, it reads that upon conclusion of the council's work, the Commissioner of Transportation shall disband the council. However, the bill does not make entirely clear how to identify when the council's work has concluded, and then this committee may want to consider clarification. Is the work concluded upon submission of the report, or perhaps at the determination of the commissioner? This is not something you necessarily have to change, but it's just something you might want to consider. And the second is that Section 6 of the bill, which defines rotary and roundabout, also refers to a mini roundabout with a traversable island. And mini roundabout is not defined. And it might just for clarification's sake, be worthwhile to provide a definition for mini roundabout. However, I have noted that currently 29A does refer to traffic circles and does not have a specific definition for those. The rest of my bill analysis really refers to section 3 of the bill, both for technical and legal issues. And it's my understanding that the department may have some recommended changes that would make these, what I flagged, not applicable. So I'm going to refrain from going through that unless they remain relevant. Is the committee want me to go through the testimony, or do you want me to stop there and see?
Why don't we stop there for the moment? Before I ask committee members if they have any questions of you, in full disclosure, I want to share with you, or you already know, that I'm sponsoring this piece of legislation. I am the primary sponsor. So I'll be limiting my comments as far as questioning the pros and cons of the bill. I just wanted to make that in full disclosure. As you all know, we've had several communications regarding this matter. I know I've had at least a couple dozen phone calls and etc. And I assume you as well. And here's how we're going to proceed. And I see Senator Chipman, your hand is up here, and I'll get to you in a moment. Could I have a show of hands prior to taking any votes on this matter this afternoon as to how many members have concerns with this bill or a portion of this bill? Could I have a show of hands on anyone who may have concerns with this bill or portions of this bill? I see at least 3 or 4.
Mr. Chairman, is that prior to any amendments, or is that in the current original state?
As the bill currently stands, correct. Thank you for asking. Senator Chipman.
Sorry, I was muted. I have some concerns about the bill. I appreciate the time the department's put into it, the time you've put into it, the time the committee's put into it with the public hearing. And I can support parts of the bill and certainly open to any suggestions the department has about certain sections of the bill, but I can't support it with sections 2 and 4 because I have some real concerns about sections 2 and 4. We have 3 or 4 different major initiatives around rail service that we've not heard yet in the committee. So I'm reluctant to support a rail trail bike pedestrian advisory group to look at turning rail corridors into trails or bike paths until we at least hear the bills on passenger rail service that are still to come before the committee this year. And it's just a bridge too far for me to go, setting up a process that corridors can be turned into other uses until we hear those bills. So I would be happy to support the other parts of the bill. I think maybe the parts about roundabouts make sense and some of the other portions of the bill, but I can't support it with sections 2 and 4. And I think that's, I also want to make reference to the testimony on the bill. I mean, we all operate differently as legislators, and I've been serving since 2010. When I get 5 or 10 phone calls or emails about something, I really take that seriously. And I know there's a lot more people out there. When I hear from 5 or 10 people, I know there's a lot more people out there that probably haven't taken the time to call because they're too busy, but are probably also concerned about it. On this particular bill, I believe we have between the testimony in person and in writing, 15 folks who have provided testimony in opposition, and I believe only 1 in support of the bill. So that really weighs heavily on me as well. And the concerns that the 15 people had, and I've actually heard from more that didn't submit written testimony that have emailed me since the public hearing on this, are primarily about sections 2 and 4. So I'm not going to continue to go on about it, but I guess with that, I'd like to make a motion of ought to pass as amended, removing sections 2 and 4.
I'll second that.
A motion has been made, duly seconded. Discussion on the pending motion. Any discussion? Representative White?
Yeah, sorry. I did the real raising hand. I'll lower it. Thank you. I think like a number of other people, I do have some concerns. And even though we passed it, well, we passed that section 2 last session. I think things are a little different now, although the advisory committee makeup is similar. And again, I believe we passed that 11-2 last time, but I have more concerns now because of the timing and the perception. You know, even though I believe that committee would do their work, the advisory committee would do good work. I think just the perception of it with, as Senator Chipman mentioned, other bills coming forward in the next few weeks, things happening at the national level with infrastructure. So things are different. And my thought, this has been a tough one for me, you know, over the last couple of days, and you know, which is unusual for us, I think. But so the impact and the, oh, I'm just trying to wrap this up for you. But so the advisor, I'm not, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing like those sections stripped out and moved, carried to the next session, rather than the department having to put those back in again. So I would be open to seeing us if that could happen. And the other thing is, I don't think it's a major impact by removing those, because any discussion is going to come to us. You know, that advisory committee would have to report to us. So yeah, there won't be anybody going to a committee if it's not there, obviously, but those same discussions will happen in our transportation committee. They may take a little longer to resolve because there's more detail there to go through, but so I don't see it having a real negative impact on the department. And I will say I have appreciated my discussions with everybody in the DOT over the last, you know, few days, and always have anyway. So that's my thoughts on it.
Representative White, if I may, the pending motion is ought to pass as amended. Are you saying that you have concerns with the pending motion?
Well, I'd rather see those sections moved forward than stripped right out. And I don't know how that could work.
Okay, well, all right. Other concerns, Representative Perkins.
I was wondering if we had the department, is DOT on? Are they in the room so we could talk and ask them some questions?
We can call them in, yes. Darlene, would you call in?
Yeah, I will.
Megan, or
You want Megan? Well, I'll bring in the commissioner too.
Representative Sebra? Representative?
Yeah, I was hoping to hear from the commissioner before we did anything else here. So that'd be great if we can hear from Mr. Van Oat.
Senator Chipman?
Yeah, I just wanted to say in response to what Representative White had said, and we can't take a bill and turn it into two separate bills, but you know, we could take out sections 2 and 4, and someone could certainly bring forward a bill for next session to bring back to sections 2 and 4. The department could put in a bill for that, but we don't really have a process to do that here. I mean, all we could do here is, if we don't want to pass 2 and 4 right now, but we're okay with the rest of it, would be to go with the motion that I made to just take out sections 2 and 4, and there's other avenues that those could be brought back for next year.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear from the department, not necessarily on their thoughts on the pending motion, because that may not be appropriate, but they might suggest to us that they might need more time. Clearly, this is going to be a divided report, and rather than losing the entire bill, maybe we need a little more time on this here. Is anyone from the Commissioner's office available?
Commissioner's right there.
Commissioner, welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me all right?
Ken, I understand you've had a long day.
Well, not any longer than all the rest of you, right? Same number of minutes. So,
Commissioner,
I really appreciate the opportunity to be with the committee again. I've always felt a real kinship with the committee, Department of Transportation and Transportation Committee. You don't normally get that kind of alignment that often. And so
Commissioner, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure if you were listening, but we do have a motion on the table. It's ought to pass as amended, and it was made by Senator Chipman. So any thoughts on how to best proceed?
Yes, we had some suggested we heard that there were a number of comments from the public hearing. Certainly, the sections regarding the rail advisory committees were the most and the hottest, but there were some other suggested changes that we had to the bill that are different from the pending motion. But I just would want to put them out there because I suspect these changes, based on our conversations, would be supported by the committee, including the people making the current motion, is what I suspect. So I don't know how to go about that procedurally, Mr. Chairman, but I could hit a few quick and then get back to the rail trail portions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, Commissioner, no, there's a way to move forward on this here. The suggestions and recommendations that you would like to make, are you ready to make them this afternoon, or do you feel you need more time and come back to the committee?
I leave it the chair. I mean, I think we would always like more time to get actual language. We feel it's our job to actually produce things that have as widespread agreement as possible, and we like to do all our homework before. But I guess I would like to just identify them for the committee and not get into them that much, just so if there's any huge opposition, we know right up front before we start working language with Sam and that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Commissioner. Senator Chipman, in order to best proceed and move forward on this here, would you be willing to withdraw your motion for the moment? Not that you have to, but that's an option. You're muted, Senator.
Ask the commissioner, I mean, would it be okay with you? Do you see any problem with moving forward with the bill without sections 2 and 4 and coming back to that at another time with either a department bill or a legislator's bill or something like that, and moving forward with the rest of the bill?
Not ready to make that judgment. I think that's a fundamental change. This was just a fundamental change to the bill. I think these sections are important. You and I have had some, good dialogue on this, or why we think it's important. We understand modal advocates have very strong feelings on both sides. We felt that this was a balance in between to try to, we foresaw this coming, that there were going to be a bunch of bills on both sides. And we saw this as really our attempt to try to create a balanced, modally agnostic process to have those conversations. I understand you disagree on that. So I guess I'm not prepared today to say just simply strip out 2 and 4 and move forward. But that's not saying with more conversation we couldn't get there and find out, and follow up with Representative White. How do we preserve that for a future day and that kind of stuff? So I guess I would like more time on that, and I would like to address the other issues that I don't think are controversial, but I think are important. I know from talking to Sam and other members about this bill that were not related to the section 2 and 4.
Follow up, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, sir.
So just follow up to that, Commissioner. So it sounds like you've got some suggested changes to various parts of the bill in addition to sections 2 and 4, but you said that you would need more time to flush things out, or more time would be helpful to flush things out. Do you need more time just on the parts on 2 and 4 to flush things out, or the other suggestions ready to go? Or I'm just wondering if we could, just to move something forward, take out 2 and 4 for now, allow more time to flush those out and come back with a department bill or a bill that one of us would sponsor just regarding that advisory group, and in the meantime, move forward on the rest of the bill.
If I could, Mr. Chair, I saw Representative Perkins, so I don't want to jump in out of turn.
Representative Perkins. You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. This is very simple. The Commissioner for Department of Transportation is asking for more time. That is very, very simple. We owe it to the people of Maine, all of us that we are here to represent, that we should give him more time. This is his job. This is what he does for a living. So we are just general knowledge people. That is our field general, very basically put. This man is in charge of DOT. If he's asking for more time to help the people of Maine and to do it right, let's give him more time. Very simple. And then my next thing I'd ask him, what is the purpose of the Rail Advisory Commission? You know, just another dumb question.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins, for Representative Perkins. Couple of options here. The good Senator Chipman can withdraw his motion. However, if a motion to table is made, that'll cease the discussion, and that would allow the commissioner to present to this full committee his thoughts and suggestions and recommendations. Senator Farren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, I've been bouncing back and forth with Ledge Council here. You know, on the whole trail piece, I mean, it's my understanding, and I missed part of the conversation, so I'm sorry. I apologize for that, for repeating something. But, you know, for the 3 terms that I've been on transportation, we have spent an inordinate amount of time talking about not just rail trails, but also passenger rail, different programs, different projects that we don't have the whole global view of what's going on ownership, funding, all of these other things. And I took this portions of this bill as kind of the department doing a pre-screening with members of both sides or all sides involved, and forming that up and bringing it back to us as the Transportation Committee, with us being able to make those recommendations and make informed decisions. And a little off track, because we almost had this last session before the pandemic piece, is that we kind of hashed that all out and thought that this was going to be a good process. And now it seems like all sides are worried that they're on the short end of the stick, which sometimes with a compromise that sometimes it hears it out. So I would be in favor of giving the commissioner a little more time to do what he wants to do and coming back to us, even though I just did, and I'll tell you, listen to the Ledge Council talking about tabling all bills because we got too much work in the committee stuff of it. So us to continue to table bills and not continue to work them, I think is something that's going to catch up with us. But in this case here, I think this is an important enough issue that we have to take a look at it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. The chair will, I see there are 3 other members that would like to speak. I'll give them an opportunity. Then with the blessing of the committee, the chair will entertain a motion to table if that's appropriate. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be brief. I agree with Senator Farren, and I perhaps am not thinking this through enough. But I think that, you know, to be blunt, and I conveyed this to the deputy commissioner, I was unprepared to vote for this bill today unless section 2 and 4 were removed. So that was my bottom line. I have no problem with giving the commissioner and the department more time to work on that. I just wanted to express my message of how I stand on this. And if we decide to table this, I'm fully in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Williams. Representative Seabrook.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Can, go ahead, sir.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Chairman. All right, I would wholeheartedly be in favor of putting this on the table until we can sort some of these things out. I don't think we should rush to judgment. I don't think we should make a rash decision based on maybe a couple dozen activists who have flooded our mailboxes. So I raised my hand so I could move a tabling motion. Move to table.
Representative Seabrook, would you withhold your motion here? I have a couple of other hands, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to say their piece. Would you be so?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I'll hold that. But when it comes time to table it, I'll move the tabling motion.
Representative White.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me that time. I just wanted to make note, I think we're all okay with giving the department more time, but I also believe I heard Chairman or Commissioner Van Note say that he would like to kind of throw out a couple of ideas to see if we're even open to them. Because if we're not, we'll put this off a couple of weeks and come back and be no further ahead. So I wouldn't mind if there's an opportunity to hear some of what he's thinking ahead of time, if that is appropriate. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative White. Senator Chipman, your hand's still up. Senator Chipman, you're muted.
Sorry. Yes. So I'm hearing about the interest in having more time, and just also knowing that chairing another committee myself that has a lot of bills still left to vote on. And I understand this committee, Senator Diamond had made reference to finishing everything up in the next 2 weeks. And what Representative White had just said about us maybe not being in any different place than we are now within the next 2 weeks. I'm wondering if it might make more sense to just carry the bill over so that we have more time to flush it out and take it up in January.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Chipman.
What the commissioner thinks about that as carrying the bill over.
Yeah, if you leave, Senator Chipman, I gather Senator Farren's still here, but if we're going to even have a tabling motion, we need at least one senator present.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Representative Seabrook.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I see what's happening here. I move the table.
Motion has been made by Representative Seabrook to table. Do we have a second?
Second, Mike Perkins.
Has been duly seconded. No discussion. I'm sorry. Darlene.
Okay, Representative Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perry is absent, Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative White. Dustin?
Yes.
No, well, that's all right. I'll get Representative Bruce White. Representative Dustin White,
Yes.
Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Senator Diamond is absent, Representative Perkins. Yeah, Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Bryant. See ya. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Representative Tom Martin is absent. Representative O'Connell
Yes.
and Representative Seabrook.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative.
All right, thank you, Darlene. Commissioner, before you leave, how much time do you need? As we all know, the clock is ticking. When can you come back to this committee?
I serve you're in charge of that process. You give me a deadline and I'll make it fit. I mean, is a week too much?
No, it isn't. I'll be contacting Darlene shortly after we adjourn, and someone will get right back to you.
Sounds good. I will fit what your needs are. So
Great.
Let me know.
Put your thoughts together.
Oh, they're together.
Thank you. Darlene, do we have anything else before us?
We do not.
Sam?
That's all I have for today.
All right. Any other closing comments from committee members? Seeing none. Thank you very much for your cooperation, folks. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You guys.
Nice job, Chairman Martin.
Thank you.